Sunday, and I am hand watering and drip watering on this sunny day. Sunny and windy, hand watered and drip on. I noticed yesterday that the 4th planting of green onions is up. Got my little tomatoes back there, and the lettuce isn't up quite yet, but I think I'm gonna take the onions out to the greenhouse tables. This is my 4th and last table that I need to get the legs stuffed in the holes here. This is just copper pipe to keep the slugs from climbing up into my starts. Okay, so not only do I have wind, I've also got neighbors doing construction. Lots of noise, but I've got my 2 tables in this greenhouse, plus buckets of water, and 2 tables in this greenhouse and more buckets of water. Another sunny day, less windy, everything hand watered and on drip. So it froze last night. And I've been bringing the water filter in every night because earlier, you know, late winter, early spring or whatever, I had the filter out here and it cracked. The temperatures in the next few nights are supposed to be in the 20s. And usually the forecast will say, you know, it'll actually be higher than what we actually experience here. And even the temperature I read at the house is higher than what is out of the garden. So anyway, I've got this kind of last minute setup where Tyler brought a bunch of extension cords home from the shop, and I've got them running here from the house all the way down to the greenhouses. And I'm gonna run the 2 little heaters that are in the freezer refrigerator conversion, you know? So I'm gonna pull those little space heaters out and put them in the greenhouses, and hopefully everything goes good. Okay, so on my old little wooden greenhouse here, I've patched in the past some holes, but the patch fell off, so and it's like a new shiny hole, probably from snow piling up against this thing. So I've got my roll of patcheroo, and we're gonna do some patcherooing. Patcheroo. Oh, patcheroo. Here's an old patcheroo that actually made it through the winter. Patcheroo. Hi. Oh, there's my hand. Hi. Patcheroo. Did we get that patcheroo? Patcheroo. The door doesn't really shut if you've got, you know, hoses running through here. So now I'm backfilling my trench like a professional. Okay, so what I've been wanting to do since we've had this sunny week is get out here and kind of clean up the garden. This is one where the leeks was, and yeah. Okay, do you want to see what it looks like? This is the dazzling blue kale over here in the corner, and like this guy looks like he's still alive, but everybody else just kind of died. So this was where my leeks were, and the weeds aren't actually that bad. Just some little weed buggers here, which I can just yank out. If not today, tomorrow. And at the end here, this is the parsley from last year. And the birds have been through here scratching. Some of these look like, the curly ones look like they might be alive. We do. The clover loves it underneath this plastic. Look how flat these guys are. Can you see? They're so flat. Ugly duckly do. Look how beautiful this clover is doing underneath the plastic. Yeah, this guy's dead. 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 Anyway, that didn't work. But look at this. This is my one living kale. My one living Italian kale out of this bed over here. I think I'm gonna leave him. So I clipped back the dead kale in this patch here, in the clover patch here. The clover patch, that's hilarious. And guess what I found? The biggest slug in the whole world is like hanging out here, like chilling out, man. And I don't know if I said, but I'm going to go ahead and leave these tarps where the carrots were, just because there's a lot of weeds in there. And so as they germinate, you know, and stuff, hopefully that tarp will just kind of kill them off. Okay, so this kind of sucks. These are the 2 flats of lettuce up here at the house that I seeded last week. And this is the green leaf, and I'm seeing it already starting to pop up. And if I don't get these out to light, they will get really leggy and it gets to be a real problem. And I'm just starting to see a few of the reds pop up too. So I'm going to take these guys out to the greenhouse tables and let them freeze along with everybody else tonight. I've got my 2 new lettuces that just came out. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this guy on, let's see, we'll have him on low. We'll put the thermostat on max. And this will go on low. Night-night, folks. Okay, in this greenhouse, I have my earlier successions of lettuce and green onions. And let me show you what happens when you got long necks on your lettuces. Yeah, they just like lay down and it's all weird. So again, we've got double row cover on the beds and 4 layers of row cover on the starts on the tables, and Pigpen is on the job. It's about 10 o'clock at night and I'm just doing a little check. Outdoor temperature up at the house is just a little over 32 degrees, just a little above freezing. And here in the basil greenhouse, it is 37.5. 37.0. Completely blue sky day. Windy. I think I'll open those greenhouses a little bit later when it's a little bit warmer. Got, ice. Oh, thick thing of ice. Here in the water bucket again this morning. Just looking at the clover. It's no longer covered by the plastic. And there's actually freeze damage on the clover. So that plastic gave quite a bit of protection. The garlic is fine here underneath the row cover. Okay, folks, well, it didn't get down into the 20s last night. It was only as cold as it was the night before, and everybody survived with just their blankies on. So I didn't really need the heaters, but better safe than sorry. And I'll probably keep the heaters on for the next couple nights just in case. Okay, folks, so today is weeding day. I'm gonna hit this bed with the, that had the leaks. Okay, folks, that's all I have time for. I went through with the fork, just roughly hand weeded. Another sunny day, not quite so windy today. Greenhouse doors are open. Direct seeded beds are hand watered. Transplanted beds are on drip. Ice in the bucket again. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you remember, but this bed right here, this half bed, was planted in beets that made it through the winter. But when I harvested them, The last time they didn't look that good. I think they might have gotten frozen. So I tossed the last batch that I had, and I'm gonna go through this bed and pull out all the beets that are remaining in there. And these are beets. Yeah, their tops they're definitely squishy. And I just went ahead and raked all of the seaweed off the bed so that I can walk along this pathway and crunch it up. And a bucket of beets, and look, a perfectly good carrot that I pulled from that far half bed. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here and take care of these 2 beds next. So these 3 beds here are kind of clayey and they need more sand in them. So what I did last year is, while there was still crops growing, I had a pile of sand and I put it in the 2 pathways right here. And so what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to get the rocks out, scrape aside seaweed from this bed, scoop out the sand, put the sand on this bed, then do the same here. Okay, so I've got to run off. The once a month Azure standard grocery thing comes in today, so I gotta go pick that up. Nighty night, nighty night. Another sunny day. I've got everything watered, hand watered. I'll decide if I want to put drip on the transplants later. Ice on the bucket again. I would love to keep prepping beds out here, but I need to today make soil blocks. Hi, so I just made my soil blocks out here instead of doing them indoors on my kitchen floor because earlier there was a little bit of sunlight here and now it's starting to disappear. But I did my last 2 flats of lettuce, my 4th succession for the early season out in the garden. And then I did a flat of basil that'll go under lights, and then that'll go out into the greenhouse beds when it's ready. And I did my cucumber soil blocks ahead of time, just so I don't have to do them next week when I'll be seeding them. Then I'm gonna seed the lettuce and the basil tonight or whatever. Oh my gosh, the machinery just shut down for a second, and it's quiet now. Nighty night, nighty night. Another sunny day. Greenhouses, hand watered, drip going, everything's groovy. Ice on the bucket, but not very much. Hey folks, this is my summer pinhead haircut. This is my bed of baby greens where I have my little lettuce mix, what was supposed to be a half bed of Orach, and then my half bed of baby chard. And the Orach did not come up very well, so I'm gonna go ahead and snip off whatever came up and rake it out so I can get rid of whatever weeds are popping up. I'm gonna be competing with my new seed that I'm going to plant in here and water in this morning. Microgreens, baby. I'm gonna take my ruler. I guess I'm so bad. Should I go up to the house and get the seed that is from Johnny's, or should I, from last year or whatever, or should I just use my seed that I saved? I'm gonna just use the seed that I saved. It germinates, I already tried. I'm just gonna throw it in here really thick. What do you think? Okay, here we go. It's not gonna even fit in the grooves. We're gonna use a different stick, like super thick. So normally Orach will come up the fastest of anything, but maybe it just doesn't like really cold weather. We're just gonna try and get a little bit of soil on top of these fellows. Oh, this is crazy. Oh my God. I'm just gonna water this sucker in and then run off and take care of lunch. I've got 4 beds out there that have seaweed on them. I'm gonna go ahead and go through, pick out the rocks, rake the seaweed into the pathway so I can kind of walk around and crunch it up. And I'm gonna call it good. I'll see you guys next week. Squirrel is eating, but he seems to be eating. Is he eating like little green things off the blueberry bushes? That's crazy. He eats green things.